This is Alaric from Stoic Way. Self-control is one of the most powerful virtues we can cultivate. It's not about repressing emotions or ignoring our deepest desires. It's about being the absolute master of our own destiny, the architect of our own lives. Imagine a life where you are not dragged by impulses or by the surrounding circumstances. When you truly master yourself, no obstacle is too great, no criticism too harsh to shake you, and no temptation irresistible. True power doesn't lie in the control we exert over others, but in what we are capable of exerting over our own choices and reactions. In Stoicism, self-control is the solid pillar of inner freedom. Philosophers like the great Marcus Aurelius and Epictetus taught us that although we cannot control the world around us, unexpected events, others' behaviors, unforeseen circumstances, we can always decide how we react to all of them. This idea is a powerful weapon, an impenetrable shield, especially in current times, where we are bombarded by constant distractions, conflicting opinions, and relentless challenges. Remaining firm, calm, and centered amidst the chaos is an essential skill that differentiates the wise from the unprepared. It's not about perfection, but about continuous progress, step by step, getting better each day. Self-control has the power to transform lives. It allows you to say no to what distracts you, say yes to what truly matters and is meaningful, and keeps your energy directed towards your highest goals. It is the invisible shield that protects your mind from external adversities and the solid bridge that leads you to a more balanced and fulfilling life. When you truly master this art, you discover that the chains that bound you were not on the outside, but deep within yourself. It's time to break those chains and take absolute command. In today's video, you will discover 8 profound Stoic lessons that will help you master the art of self-control comprehensively. Each lesson is a valuable key for you to forge an unshakable mind and a resilient spirit. Before we begin, I want to hear from you. Leave a comment with the phrase, "I have self-control." Your engagement is essential for this message to reach even more people. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and activate the bell to not miss any new content. Your transformation journey begins now. Let's build a stronger mind together, one day at a time. Listen closely. Now, listen closely. These are 8 Stoic lessons that will help you master yourself and live a powerful life. First lesson: the invisible shield. Protect your mind from external chaos. In life, we are constantly bombarded by external stimuli, opinions, criticisms, problems that arise, and situations that challenge our peace. All too often, we allow these external forces to dominate us, generating anxiety, anger, or confusion. Stoicism teaches us that although we cannot control what happens around us, We have total control over how we interpret and react to these events. This is the very foundation of self-control, creating an invisible shield that protects your mind from the chaos of the external world. Epictetus, one of the great Stoic masters, said, "What disturbs men is not events, but their opinions about them." This quote reveals a profound truth. It's not circumstances that directly affect us, but the way we choose to perceive them. Imagine you're in heavy traffic. Your irritation rises. The traffic itself is just a neutral fact. Your irritation comes from your perception of it, from how you choose to react to that situation. Stoicism invites us to view these moments with neutrality, accepting what is beyond our control, and focusing on what we can change, which is our attitude. Building this invisible shield begins with consciousness. Whenever you face a challenge, ask yourself, does this deserve my energy? Does it truly threaten my peace? This simple question can completely change how you respond to situations. A large part of the stress we face comes from our tendency to fight the uncontrollable or to absorb problems that do not belong to us. By understanding that you don't have power over everything, but you can control how you position yourself before what happens, you reclaim your inner freedom. It is important to adopt practices that strengthen this ability. Meditation, for example, is a powerful tool for observing thoughts without being carried away by them. When you meditate, you learn to differentiate between what is real and what is a mere emotional reaction. This skill transfers to daily life, helping you maintain calm in the face of problems. Another practical exercise is negative visualization, a Stoic technique that involves imagining adverse scenarios before they happen. This is not pessimism, but a mental training that prepares you to face the unexpected with serenity. The invisible shield also brings the idea that you should not let others' opinions dominate you. All too often, we worry too much about what others think, allowing their criticisms or judgments to invade our mental space. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Remember that you are not obligated to have an opinion about what others say." By internalizing this lesson, you free yourself from the burden of trying to please everyone and focus on what truly matters: your own self-approval. Creating this invisible shield is not something that happens overnight. It is a daily process that requires practice and dedication. Start small. Choose a challenging situation in your life and decide not to react impulsively to it. Breathe deeply. Observe your emotions and ask yourself, what is truly essential here? Over time, you will realize that your mind becomes more resilient and external chaos will lose its power to shake you. The invisible shield is not a barrier that separates you from the world, but a filter that preserves your peace and balance. When you learn to use it, you will discover that you have more control than you imagined, not over others or circumstances, but over yourself. This is true freedom. Cultivate it, and you will be unshakable even in life's most violent storms. Build your Stoic shield. Second method. Embrace the power of a pause. Control action through reflection. We live in a world that values speed. Instant responses, snap decisions, impulsive reactions. Yet, it is precisely this haste that often leads us to misguided choices and unnecessary conflicts, eroding our peace. Stoic wisdom invites us to slow down and find profound strength in a simple yet powerful act: the pause. This pause is the golden moment where we allow emotion to subside so that reason can take its rightful place. It enables our actions to be guided by conscious reflection rather than by impulse or transient feelings. Epictetus reminds us, first, learn to master yourself, and then you may guide others. This mastery begins with the ability to contain the initial reaction, often fueled by raw emotion or instinct, to rationally assess the situation. Think of how many misunderstandings could be avoided, how many hasty decisions could be corrected, if, before acting, we simply paused for a moment to reflect. The power of a pause lies in giving us valuable time to process what is truly happening without being overwhelmed by our immediate impulses. A pause is not just a moment of silence. It is a powerful tool to regain inner control. Imagine yourself in a heated discussion. Your instinct might be to respond aggressively, attempting to win the argument. However, if you pause for an instant, breathe deeply, and reflect, you will realize that often the wisest response is silence, or a neutral phrase that calms tempers. This practice not only prevents future regrets, but also protects your inner peace. Stoics also teach us to question our emotions during that pause. When you feel anger, ask yourself, is this truly as important as it seems? Does allowing this to disturb me serve any purpose? If you feel fear, reflect. Is this fear rational, or is it being amplified by my mind? These simple questions, asked in the heat of the moment, help transform an emotional reaction into a conscious and rational response. This transition is the essence of self-control. The pause is not limited to moments of conflict. It is also crucial in important decisions. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, frequently reflected on the value of patience and careful analysis. He understood that decisions made in the heat of the moment are more prone to error. Think of a common situation. You receive a tempting proposal, but something doesn't feel quite right. Instead of accepting immediately, allow yourself a pause. Evaluate the pros and cons. Consider the long-term consequences, and then decide with clarity. The practice of the pause can be strengthened with simple exercises. One of them is conscious breathing. In moments of tension, focus on inhaling deeply and exhaling slowly for a few breaths. This physical act calms the nervous system and gives the mind the necessary space to reflect. Another practice is to establish a personal rule. Never make important decisions in the heat of emotion. This creates a habit of automatic reflection, protecting you from harmful impulses. Embracing the power of a pause is a demonstration of true inner strength. In a world where most react without thinking, being the one who stops, reflects, and acts with wisdom is a tremendous advantage that not only improves your personal relationships, but also increases your confidence and clarity in all areas of life. Remember, the pause is not weakness, but an act of courage and self-control. It is proof that you are not a slave to your emotions or circumstances. By practicing this skill daily, you will notice that your choices become more aligned with your values and goals, and inner peace will become a constant, regardless of the chaos around you. This is the core of the Stoic principle of judgment and controlling what is within your control, dichotomy of control. The pause allows you to apply this wisdom, moving from instinctive reaction to disciplined response. Epictetus taught that you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Mastering the pause is a powerful manifestation of self-mastery and ataraxia, tranquility. You are not swept away by impulses or heated emotions. Instead, you maintain your composure and reason. This requires discipline to practice that pause consistently, making it a natural habit, a default response. By mastering the pause, you are building an impregnable inner strength, one that allows you to navigate every situation with clarity and purpose. Master your pause. Live stoic. Third method. Free yourself from the invisible chains of desire. We live in a world where desire is constantly amplified. Endless advertisements, social media with its constant comparisons, all create the illusion that we need more. More material possessions, more achievements, more external validation. However, the rampant pursuit of what we crave can easily become an invisible prison, a burden that never lets go. Stoicism teaches us to clearly distinguish between what truly matters and what is superfluous, liberating us from the invisible chains of desire. After all, as Seneca wisely said, "He who has what he wants is rich, but he who desires nothing is invincible." Desires, when unexamined, have immense power to control our actions and emotions. Think of how many times you felt frustrated or anxious over something you couldn't have or achieve. This discomfort arises because we tightly link our happiness to the fulfillment of a specific desire. Yet, when we achieve what we wanted, we often discover that the satisfaction is temporary, and a new desire quickly takes its place. This cycle is endless, unless we choose to break it. The first step to breaking free from this prison is to understand that desire itself isn't the problem, but our relationship with it. Not all desires are bad. Some propel us to grow and achieve valuable goals. The problem arises when we allow superfluous desires to dictate our lives, or when we obsessively cling to something we cannot control. In this sense, Stoicism invites us to cultivate detachment. This doesn't mean giving up everything or becoming emotionless, but developing the ability to appreciate without becoming dependent. The practice of negative visualization, a powerful Stoic technique, can help in this process. It consists of imagining your life without the possessions or situations you value. This might seem uncomfortable, but this practice has the effect of increasing gratitude and reducing attachment. For example, think of the comfort of your home or the technology you use daily. Imagine yourself without them and reflect on how your life could still have meaning and value. This mindset prepares you to deal with inevitable losses and appreciate what truly matters. Another useful exercise is differentiating between needs and desires. What do you truly need to live a quality life? All too often, we realize that our true needs are simple: food, shelter, meaningful relationships, and purpose. Everything beyond that can be considered a bonus. This understanding brings a sense of lightness and freedom, as it eliminates the constant pressure of pursuing more. Liberating yourself from desire also means questioning the motivations behind them. Why do you want a particular thing? Is it because it genuinely contributes to your life? Or because you want to impress others? When we pause to analyze our desires, we frequently realize that many of them are not our own, but were instilled in us by society, by others' expectations, or by the fear of not being accepted. By mastering the art of distinguishing between desire and need, you discover true wealth, the ability to be grateful for what you already have, instead of living in a perpetual search for what you lack. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Do not be carried away by desires for external things. Withdraw into yourself and find your tranquility." This tranquility, built on acceptance and detachment, is a treasure that no circumstance can take from you. Therefore, break the invisible chains of desire and reclaim control over your life. Ask yourself whenever you face a decision or choice, will this truly bring me peace? Or am I merely being driven by desire? By doing this, you will become more conscious, more free, and above all, more at peace with yourself. Be free from desire. Live Stoic. Fourth method. Be the king of yourself. Master emotion before it masters you. In our daily journey, emotions can be our most powerful allies or our worst enemies. Anger, fear, anxiety, and even intense euphoria have the profound power to throw us off balance, leading us to act in ways we often deeply regret later. Stoicism, however, teaches us that true freedom lies in being absolute masters of our emotions, rather than being dominated by them. Being the king of yourself means governing your inner world with wisdom, with clarity and firmness, like a monarch maintaining order in his realm. This doesn't mean repressing or ignoring your emotions, but profoundly understanding them and channeling them into productive, beneficial actions. Anger, for instance, is a natural emotion a powerful signal. But when poorly managed, it can lead us to destructive words and deeds. By recognizing anger the moment it arises, in its very inception, we can transform it into energy to correct an injustice or to fight for something meaningful without losing self-control. One of the most critical steps to mastering emotions is identifying the exact moment they begin to emerge. All too often, we are swept away by emotional intensity because we fail to perceive their subtle onset. Developing radical self-awareness is essential here. Ask yourself, what am I feeling right now? Why am I feeling this way? By naming the emotion, you significantly reduce its power over you. Modern psychological studies confirm this Stoic practice. The simple act of identifying an emotion helps to diminish its intensity. Beyond identification, it's crucial to understand that emotions are not enemies, but powerful messengers. They bring invaluable information about our needs, our fears, and our values. Anxiety can be a signal that something requires attention. Anger might indicate that your boundaries have been crossed. By listening to the message behind the emotion, you can act with clarity instead of reacting impulsively. Another powerful tool for mastering emotions is the practice of conscious breathing. When an intense emotion arises, pause for a moment and breathe deeply. Inhale through the nose for 4 seconds. Hold your breath for another 4, and exhale slowly through the mouth for 6 seconds. This simple exercise calms the nervous system, reduces emotional intensity, and restores your mental clarity. Marcus Aurelius frequently mentioned in his meditations the importance of focusing on the present, and breath is a direct means of bringing your mind to the now. Stoicism also reminds us of the paramount importance of not reacting immediately to provocations. One of the greatest tests of self-control is when someone attempts to provoke or disrespect us. In these moments, the true king of oneself does not react with impulsivity, but with profound calm and wisdom. As Seneca wrote, anger, if not controlled, is more harmful than the injury that provoked it. Responding with calm is not weakness. It is an inner strength that keeps your peace and your dignity intact. Mastering emotions doesn't mean eliminating them, but learning to utilize them as tools to achieve your noble objectives. Passion for something important can be transformed into unyielding determination. Fear can be a powerful warning to prepare better. Sadness can be an invitation to look inward and grow. Governing your emotions is like governing a kingdom. It's not about silencing the voices, but about organizing them into harmony. Remember, being the king of yourself is a continuous journey. Each day brings new challenges, but also fresh opportunities to practice self-control. When you assume the throne of your own mind, no external storm can bring you down. After all, the greatest power you can exert is not in controlling others, but in mastering yourself. That is the true path to freedom and inner peace. Be the king of yourself. Live stoic. 5th lesson. Control begins in the body. Make simple routines a ritual of power. Self-control is not a skill that appears out of nowhere. It is built step by step, day by day, through intentional daily habits. To truly govern one's mind, it is essential to start with the body. How you care for yourself, your routines, how you manage your time, directly determines the level of control you exert over your life. In Stoicism, discipline in daily life is seen as the foundation of a strong mind. After all, whoever cannot organize the basics will hardly have the strength to face life's great challenges. Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest examples of Stoic self-control, lived a disciplined life despite the immense responsibilities and pressures of being a Roman emperor. He believed that keeping the body healthy and following a simple but firm routine was essential to lead with wisdom and clarity. He wrote, "You must rise in the morning with determination to do your work, regardless of tiredness or circumstances." This thought reflects the importance of winning daily internal battles before facing the world. Creating simple and effective routines is a way to train your mind to be more disciplined and resilient. This can begin with seemingly small things, like waking up at the same time every day, being mindful of your meals, or reserving a moment of the day for reflection. Although they may seem trivial habits, they are the foundation of solid self-control. When you achieve small daily victories, your confidence grows, and these conquests reflect in other aspects of your life. A practical example of this is the importance of a purposeful morning routine. Starting the day with purpose, instead of letting yourself be carried away by randomness, is an act of personal power. Reserve the first minutes of the morning for activities that nourish your body and mind, such as stretching, meditation, or reading something inspiring. This practice sets the tone for the day, sending a clear message to your mind. You are in control. Furthermore, body care is a form of self-control that directly impacts your mental capacity. What you eat, how you sleep, and whether you exercise are factors that influence your energy, concentration, and mood. A neglected body frequently leads to a distracted and unstable mind. Conversely, taking care of the physical creates a solid foundation for facing challenges with clarity and determination. However, it is important to remember that Stoicism does not advocate an obsession with perfection. The goal is not to create a rigid routine that generates anxiety if something goes off plan, but to find a balance. Flexibility is part of self-control. If something unexpected happens, such as a change in your daily plans, remain calm and adjust your approach. Control over your reaction is more important than absolute control over the environment. Control through routines shows us the value of small victories. For example, deciding not to skip a healthy meal, or avoiding a harmful habit like spending hours on social media, are acts of self-control that may seem insignificant, but accumulated over time, they create a solid foundation of discipline. Each time you complete a simple task, you send a signal to your brain that you are capable of making conscious and positive choices. The practice of caring for simple routines is also a way to express gratitude to your own body and life. When you commit to your physical and mental health, you are valuing the gift of being alive, and this care creates a positive cycle. A well-cared-for body supports a strong mind, and a strong mind, in turn, keeps the body in harmony. Control begins in the body, but its effects reverberate in all areas of your life. Transform your routines into rituals of power and see how small daily actions build an unshakable strength. This strength will be the foundation for you to achieve not only self-control, but also the freedom to live the life you desire. Cultivate Stoic discipline from the body. Sixth lesson. The art of no. Freedom by refusing the unnecessary. Few truly know how to say no effectively. Most of us pay a heavy price for not wielding this power. Saying no might seem like a simple gesture, but in reality, it's one of the most difficult and crucial skills to master. All too often, we get caught up in accepting commitments, responsibilities, and demands that we neither want nor need, simply to please others or avoid conflict. However, every yes we give without reflection is a step away from our core priorities and vital energy. Stoicism teaches us that true freedom lies in saying no to the unnecessary, creating space for what truly matters and is meaningful. The fear of saying no often stems from our desire to please or be accepted. We want to appear helpful, available, and generous. But by doing so indiscriminately, we become prisoners of others' expectations. Seneca warned about the importance of safeguarding our time and energy, stating, "Nothing truly belongs to us but time, and yet we are so generous with it, as if it were infinite." When we learn to say no, we are actually saying yes to our priorities and to the life we genuinely wish to build. The art of no begins with clarity about what is essential for you. If you don't know what you value, any request or distraction will seem important. Therefore, the first step is to define your priorities. Ask yourself, does this activity or commitment bring me closer to my goals, or does it pull me away from them? When you have clarity about what truly matters, it becomes significantly easier to decline what doesn't align with your values. Saying no doesn't mean being rude or indifferent. It's about being honest with yourself and with others. All too often, the challenge lies in how to communicate that refusal. An effective way is to be direct yet polite. For example, instead of inventing elaborate excuses, say something like, "I appreciate the invitation, but I cannot commit at this time." Being firm and clear shows respect both for yourself and for the person making the request. Learning to say no is also an act of profound self-care. When you accept every request, you might find yourself overloaded, exhausted, and frustrated. This benefits no one, least of all yourself. Stoicism reminds us that life should be lived with purpose and balance. And this is only possible when you protect your time and energy. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Devote yourself to what truly matters, and discard the rest. This is a powerful lesson that encourages us to prioritize the essential. One of the challenges of saying no is dealing with the guilt that may arise. Many people feel as though they are letting others down by refusing something. However, it's crucial to remember that you cannot please everyone, and trying to do so frequently results in neglecting your own needs. Being true to yourself is far more valuable than seeking external approval. When you act in accordance with your values, you cultivate respect not only for yourself, but also from those around you. Practicing the art of no requires courage, but it brings immense rewards. By declining what doesn't add value to your life, you create space for opportunities that truly matter. This habit transforms your routine, eliminating distractions, and allowing you to invest time and energy into what is profoundly significant. Over time, you will realize that saying no is not just an act of refusal, but an act of conscious choice, a decision to live with intention. Start small. Choose one request or commitment that you know is unnecessary, and say no. Observe how it makes you feel and how this simple act liberates your energy for something more important. Remember, every time you say no to what doesn't matter, you're saying yes to what truly does. That is freedom. That is self-control. And that is living a purposeful life. This is the core of the Stoic principle of autarkeia, self-sufficiency, and choice. The power to say no stems from a deep understanding of your values and your life's purpose. Seneca taught, "Nothing is enough for the man to whom enough is too little." This implies that true wealth and freedom lie in controlling our desires and not being dependent on external things. Consciously saying no is a form of discipline. It requires you to resist social pressure and others' expectations, focusing on what you can control, your decisions and actions. It also relates to amor fati, love of your fate, accepting that life cannot contain everything, and finding peace in choosing what is truly essential. By mastering the art of no, you not only protect yourself from burnout, you also create a more purposeful life, more aligned with Stoic principles. Say no. Live Stoic. Seventh method. Calm under pressure. Transform stress into your ally. Life constantly presents us with challenges, situations that seem to demand rapid and intense reactions. In moments of pressure, we often feel overwhelmed by stress, unable to think clearly. However, Stoicism teaches us that instead of being hostages to these situations, we can use calm as a powerful force. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it, and this you have the power to revoke at any moment." Calm under pressure is a skill that can be cultivated and refined over time. It begins with understanding that stress is not our enemy, but a natural bodily response to challenges. What determines whether stress will be harmful or helpful is how we choose to react to it. When we are calm, even under tension, we can see more clearly, make better decisions, and preserve our energy for what truly matters. One of the first steps to cultivating this calm is learning to pause before reacting. All too often, in pressured situations, our immediate response is impulsive, fueled by the emotion of the moment. Pausing for a few seconds to breathe deeply can be the difference between acting wisely or reacting impulsively. This moment of pause not only calms the body, but also gives the mind space to assess the situation more objectively. Stoicism offers us concrete practices to deal with pressure. One of them is the dichotomy of control, which involves separating what is under our control from what is not. For example, imagine you are in a work environment with tight deadlines. What is under your control? Your effort, your organization, your attitude. What is not? Others' reactions, possible unforeseen events, or last-minute changes. By focusing only on what you can control, you eliminate unnecessary worries and redirect your energy productively. Train your mind to remain anchored in the present. Stress generally feeds on thoughts about the past or the future, regrets for what has happened, or anxieties about what might happen. Marcus Aurelius frequently reflected on the power of the present moment, saying, "Concentrate on what is happening now, and you will see that this is all you can bear." When you bring your attention to what is before you, you reduce the weight of anxiety and increase your ability to respond effectively. In addition to mental practices, body care is also essential for maintaining calm under pressure. Activities like physical exercise, balanced nutrition, and quality sleep strengthen your physical and mental resilience. When the body is healthy, it responds better to stress, allowing you to maintain control even in the most challenging situations. Moments of pressure are opportunities for growth, like fire purifying gold. Adversity has the power to mold you into someone stronger and more resilient. By facing challenges with calm and wisdom, you not only overcome difficulties, but also build a solid foundation of confidence and self-control for the future. Make calm your ally. Instead of resisting pressure or letting it dominate you, transform it into a force that works in your favor. True strength is not in avoiding stress, but in facing it with clarity, focus, and balance. Cultivate this ability, and you will discover that no challenge is great enough to shake your inner serenity. Be calm under pressure. Live stoic. Eighth and final lesson: the power of choice. Focus on what makes a difference. Ignore the rest. Life is full of choices. From the simplest, like what to eat for breakfast, to the most complex, like which direction to take in our personal journey. Stoicism teaches us that although we cannot control everything around us, we always have the power to choose how we react, where we place our focus, and what we value. Marcus Aurelius summarized this idea with clarity. Between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response. In our response lies our growth and our freedom. The power of choice is the foundation of self-control and inner freedom. All too often, we let ourselves be carried away by distractions and problems that fundamentally don't truly matter. We waste time and energy worrying about things beyond our control, while neglecting what can truly make a difference in our lives. By understanding what is genuinely significant, we can redirect our focus and energy to what matters. Stoicism also teaches us that our choices determine the quality of our lives. It's not external circumstances that define our happiness, but how we choose to react to them. Seneca wrote, "No wind is favorable for one who doesn't know where he's going." This phrase reminds us that without clarity about our values and objectives, we end up being carried by the winds of circumstance, losing the opportunity to live an intentional life. The ability to choose what makes a difference also involves learning to say no to what does not contribute to our goals. This can mean refusing invitations that don't align with our priorities, ignoring destructive comments, or abandoning habits that move us away from our purpose. Every conscious no is in fact a yes to what truly matters. That is the power of choice. The ability to direct your life towards what is essential. Accept that we cannot always change circumstances, but we can choose how to interpret and react to them. When facing challenges or losses, we can lament incessantly or choose to find a deeper meaning in adversity. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, "What happens is indifferent. What matters is how you deal with it." This mindset gives us the strength to face even the most difficult situations with resilience and dignity. Exercising the power of choice also means adopting a learning mindset. Instead of blaming yourself for past mistakes, choose to see them as valuable lessons. Every wrong decision is an opportunity for growth, a step to become wiser. Stoicism invites us to reflect on our actions, and instead of clinging to regret, use what we've learned to make better decisions in the future. To put this into practice, start small. Make a list of things you can control and those you cannot. Then, focus your energy only on the former. Throughout the day, ask yourself, is this choice moving me closer to what truly matters, or moving me further away? This simple reflection can transform your way of living, allowing you to direct your life with more intention and purpose. The power of choice is always in your hands. You can choose to live reacting to external chaos, or choose to focus on what makes a difference, ignoring what is irrelevant. This ability is the secret to a life of freedom, self-control, and inner peace. By practicing it daily, you will discover that even amidst life's storms, it is possible to find serenity and purpose. After all, life is what we make of it, choice by choice. This is the core of the Stoic principle of conscious choice and the dichotomy of control. It is the recognition that even when circumstances are beyond our control, we still have the power to choose our response. Seneca taught, "No wind is favorable for one who does not know what harbor he is making for." This emphasizes the importance of having a clear purpose and making choices aligned with that purpose. By focusing on what truly matters and letting go of the rest, you are practicing self-mastery and ataraxia, tranquility. It is choosing to invest your energy where it will make the greatest impact, rather than wasting it on superficialities. It requires discipline to constantly evaluate and adjust your focus. What if mastering your choices is the path to greater strength and peace? Something you never knew existed while you were swept away by every demand and distraction? Choose wisely. Live Stoic. We have explored 8 profound Stoic lessons that have the power to completely transform your relationship with your emotions, with life, and with yourself. You've learned how your reaction is a powerful choice, how letting go of unrealistic expectations can liberate you, and how prioritizing inner peace over the need to always be right is the ultimate victory. We've delved into how to protect your worth from others' words, how to set firm boundaries to safeguard your energy, and most importantly, you've realized that the power to stay calm, to remain unbothered by anyone or anything, rests entirely in your hands. This isn't mere theory. This is the path to a truly free life, where you are the master of your mind, not a slave to your emotions or circumstances. Stoicism teaches that calm is not given. It's forged. Self-control is not denial. It's discipline. And peace isn't weakness. It's power sharpened in silence. Each moment is an opportunity to practice these lessons. It's in how you respond to your partner, how you hold your ground in meetings, how you walk away from noise and stand firm in your values. The more you practice, the more natural it becomes, ingrained in your very being. This is how you stop being triggered by everything and start becoming emotionally untouchable. So, I invite you, begin today. Train your breath, hold your words, master your pause, and build a mind that cannot be shaken by what it cannot control. If this message has resonated with you, share your story in the comments. What moment tested you recently? What have you learned from holding back? We learn by reflecting, and we grow by helping others do the same. Because in the end, the man who can master himself, his thoughts, his reactions, his energy, is the man who owns his life. And that is the kind of strength that endures, a timeless legacy. Live with Stoic peace. Live strong.